Can you imagine the pressure on a quarterback when the season reaches the ultimate tipping point? Welcome back to the channel, everyone. We are witnessing a historic moment in Los Angeles football history. Matthew Stafford, the veteran leader who has already delivered a Lombardi trophy to the City of Angels, is standing at a crossroads. The regular season is in the rearview mirror, and the 2025 playoffs are finally here. But before we dive into the massive news that just shook the Rams facility, I need a quick favor from all of you. But first, leave a like on this video, subscribe to the channel, and comment below which city you are watching this video from. We want to see where the Rams house is loudest today. Now, let's talk about the situation at hand. The Los Angeles Rams have secured the number 5 seed in the NFC, a feat that many doubted early in the season when the roster was dealing with massive turnover and aging veterans. But Stafford, true to his gritty nature, has willed this team into a position where they can compete for another ring. The matchup is set. They are heading to Carolina to face the Panthers in the wildcard round. This isn't just another game, it is a chance at redemption. Throughout the season, we saw the Rams struggle with consistency, especially on the road. Facing the Panthers in a hostile environment is a daunting task, but the news that just broke regarding the roster reinforcements is nothing short of legendary. Sean McVay, the mastermind behind the Rams' offensive scheme, took the podium Monday and delivered the update every fan has been praying for. The primary focus? None other than the superstar wide receiver, Davante Adams. Adams, a 6-time Pro Bowler, has been the focal point of the Rams' aerial attack when healthy. However, a nagging hamstring injury kept him on the sidelines for the final 3 weeks of the regular season. This absence was felt across the entire offensive unit. When you look at the statistics over the last 3 seasons, Adams' impact is undeniable. Since joining the Rams, he has consistently ranked in the top 5 for yards per route run and has been a touchdown machine in the red zone. In fact, despite missing time, he finished the 2024-2025 campaign as the NFL leader in touchdown receptions. Think about that for a second. The man didn't play for nearly a month and still led the league in scoring catches. That is the kind of elite talent Matthew Stafford is getting back. McVay mentioned that the team erred on the side of caution during the regular season finale against the Arizona Cardinals. He admitted that the decision to keep Adams out actually pissed the wideout off pretty good. This is exactly what you want to hear as a fan. It shows the competitive fire burning inside Adams. He didn't want to rest, he wanted to be out there competing with his brothers. This frustration will likely translate into a monster performance against the Panthers. Historically, wide receivers coming off a hamstring injury can be a gamble, but the Rams training staff is among the best in the league. They recall the 2021 season when the team managed injuries to key players like Odell Beckham Jr. and Cooper Kupp during their championship run. The return of Adams doesn't just benefit Stafford, it changes the entire geometry of the field for Puka Nacua. Puka has been a revelation, but without Adams he faced constant double teams and bracket coverage. With number 17 back on the field, the Panthers secondary will be forced to pick their poison. If they double Adams, Nacua will feast on single coverage. If they try to shadow Nacua, Adams will remind the world why he is a future Hall of Famer. This dynamic is what makes the Rams dangerous. The financial stakes are also massive here. Adams is on a high-value contract, and the Rams need this postseason run to justify the aggressive moves made by general manager Les Snead. Every playoff win increases the team's marketability and solidifies the win-now window that began with the Stafford trade years ago. We are looking at a team that has built its identity on star power, and with the playoffs starting, the stars are finally aligning. But the news isn't just about the wide receiver room. The depth of this roster is being tested like never before. McVay's update included several other names that could swing the momentum of Saturday's tilt in Carolina. As we prepare for this showdown, the history of the Rams in the wildcard round is mixed, but under McVay they have always shown a tactical edge. This year feels different. There is a sense of urgency in Stafford's eyes that reminds me of the 2021 run. He knows his career is in its twilight years, and every chance at a second ring is precious. We are going to break down the defensive side of the ball next, because the news there is just as shocking. Stay tuned as we dive deeper into the return of a defensive linchpin and what it means for the Rams' chances of making a deep run. The road to the Super Bowl goes through the heart of the roster, and the Rams are getting healthy at the perfect time. Let's look at the numbers and the rumors surrounding the locker room as we move into the second half of this massive update.
As we move into the deeper analysis of this Rams roster update, we have to look beyond the flashy headlines of Davante Adams. While the return of a superstar receiver is enough to send shockwaves through the NFL, Sean McVay revealed even more reinforcements that could prove to be the difference between a one-and-done playoff exit and a deep run to the Super Bowl. First, let's talk about the unsung heroes. Rookie tight end Terrence Ferguson is expected to suit up against the Panthers. This is huge. While the Rams already have a Super Bowl champion in Tyler Higbee, Ferguson brings a completely different dynamic to the offense. Over the last few seasons, the tight end position in McVay's system has evolved from a pure blocking role into a vertical threat role. Ferguson, standing at 6'5", has the speed to challenge safeties down the seam, something the Rams have lacked in recent weeks. His ankle injury in Week 18 was a scare, but his return adds a layer of complexity to the playbook that will keep the Panthers' defensive coordinator awake at night. But wait, there is even more good news on the defensive side of the ball. The Rams are incredibly optimistic about the return of safety Quentin Lake. If you haven't been following Lake's impact this season, you are missing out on one of the most versatile defensive players in the league. Lake has been on the injured reserve with an elbow injury, missing the final 7 games of the regular season. Before his injury, he was the glue holding the secondary together. He isn't just a safety, he plays the star or nickelback position, lining up against the opponent's best slot receivers. His return is a massive boost for a secondary that has struggled with inconsistency. Lake recently signed a contract extension, proving that the front office sees him as a cornerstone of the future. His return to the lineup is good news for Matthew Stafford, because let's face it, even an elite offense needs the defense to get a stop when the game is on the line. Imagine a scenario where Stafford puts the Rams up by 3 with 2 minutes left. Having Quentin Lake on the field to navigate the defensive calls and shut down the middle of the field is the insurance policy this team desperately needs. However, it isn't all sunshine and rainbows in Los Angeles. The most concerning part of McVay's press conference involved the offensive line. Starting right guard Kevin Dotson remains a huge question mark. Dotson has been out since the Week 16 loss to the Seattle Seahawks, and his absence has been felt in the run game. The Rams did not place him on IR, which suggests they hope he can return, but McVay was noticeably less committal about his status for Saturday. If Dotson can't go, the Rams will have to rely on backup depth to protect Stafford against a Panthers pass rush that has been surprisingly effective this season. Historically, Stafford has struggled when pressured from the interior. Maintaining a clean pocket is essential for him to find Adams and Nakawa downfield. Furthermore, the Rams are waiting on MRI results for linebacker Sean Dolak and wide receiver Jordan Whittington. These may seem like minor names, but in the playoffs, special teams and rotational depth are where games are won and lost. Analyzing the financial implications, the Rams have one of the most top-heavy salary caps in the NFL. They have bet big on guys like Stafford, Adams, and Cooper Kupp. This means they have very little margin for error. A loss in the wildcard round would lead to a massive offseason of questioning whether this roster construction can still compete at the highest level. But a win justifies everything. Rumors are already swirling on Twitter and Reddit that if the Rams make a deep run, they might look to extend McVay even further to ensure he doesn't entertain television offers again. The fan sentiment is at a fever pitch. On the Rams subreddit, the consensus is clear. In Stafford, we trust. Fans are citing his 2021 playoff stats, over 1,100 yards and 9 touchdowns in 4 games, as proof that he is a different beast in January. They believe that with Davante Adams back, this offense is unstoppable. Looking at the schedule, if the Rams beat the Panthers, they could face a collision course with the Detroit Lions or the San Francisco 49ers. The path is difficult, but the return of Adams, Ferguson, and Lake provides the all-hands-on-deck mentality needed for a championship charge. Tactically, we expect McVay to use a lot of 12 personnel, 2 tight ends, to test the Panthers' linebackers, especially with Ferguson's speed. Defensively, look for Lake to shadow the Panthers' primary targets to take away the quick pass. This game will be a chess match, and the Rams just got their most important pieces back on the board. We are at the end of this deep dive, but the conversation doesn't stop here. The Rams are on the verge of something special, or a heartbreaking end to a roller coaster season. What do you think? Can Stafford lead this group to another Super Bowl with Adams back in the fold, or is the injury to Kevin Dotson too much to overcome? Make sure you have liked this video and subscribe to the channel for every update as we follow the Rams through the postseason. Comment your predictions below. Will it be a blowout in Carolina or a nail-biter? Thank you for watching, and as always, go Rams. We will see you in the next one for more breaking news and deep dive analysis.